Hello everyone and welcome to NXT. My name's Jitch and we've got a brand new set on hand apparently. What the hell is this? Well, first up we got the NXT looking all different. And now huh? Mr. McMahon, the man who just stepped down from being the general manager of Raw, has come out to NXT, and if my eyes do not deceive me, I read the side of that ring. What is going on? I just showed up, I just sat down, all the fans gathered around this ring, and we looked at the ring in confusion. We need some sense made. Expecting something different, were you? I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon, former general manager of Monday Night Raw. After seeing the United Kingdom bastardize my brand, I knew I had to start again. That's why I bring you my latest investment, the immediate termination of NXT, and the return of WWE ECW. This new third brand will feature two major improvements. First of all, the ECW Championship will be treated as our World Championship. It'll be defended tonight against a superstar of my choice. The winner will go on to compete at bragging rights to fight for a special prize, an honorary title to be competed for once a year, the Champion of Champions Trophy. Second, this brand as of today will feature its own 15-man roster. Additionally, the Hardcore Championship is now property of ECW. I welcome anyone from all three brands to compete for my championship by your votes. Wow. A very shocking announcement from Mr. McMahon. Apparently we've witnessed a shift. He quit his job as Raw General Manager last night on Raw. He came to NXT, and he bought it out and replaced it with ECW, which is his new brand he's building from the ground up. For those curious, I have it on good authority that Alex Riley is not a member of this new ECW roster. While some of these additions will come as a surprise, I can confirm basically those who are and those who aren't. Those who aren't right now that are featured tonight, at least on ECW, are Alex Riley and Justin Gabriel. However, this man, his opponent tonight, Goldust, has officially been recognized as a part of the ECW roster rather than SmackDown. So McMahon has collected 15 people collectively from Raw and SmackDown combined and added them to his own ECW roster, where they're going to be exclusive performers on his show. I think something's supposed to be happening here. I'm gonna skip just in case. Yeah, okay, see, he was supposed to come out hurt, so I'm actually really glad I did that. I had a feeling he was going to do this cutscene. Okay! This is an example of someone who's not a member of ECW, but seems to have formed some kind of at least minor alliance with Goldust. Stone Cold Steve Austin stepping up to face Alex Riley. Says we've got two SmackDown superstars competing in the first ever ECW match, which sums it up so perfectly. And obviously Austin wasting little to no time in this brand new ECW ring. I mean, this is a very different ECW to what we saw earlier this year. It was killed off by NXT. McMahon stated such things that were cut from his promo, because we only have 12 lines to work with. He also threw in such statements as the fact that he never liked the fact that NXT had an ECW championship, but he didn't like the sounds of an NXT championship, so he scrapped NXT altogether in honor of the ECW championship, so he could keep that championship alive, which is kind of a funny thing. That now means that we got a few people who are, I guess, now officially recognized as world champions. Those are Terry Funk, Yoshitatsu, the guy who held it after Yoshitatsu, Ezekiel Jackson. Oh, stunner already. Wade Barrett, the current champion, and Nemesis, the former champion. Those are all, I guess, by technicality now recognized as former world champions. McMahon announcing the Champion of Champions trophy for this upcoming October event, Bragging Rights, a brand new event. Obviously, we're almost through the full year cycle, so we'll know what our yearly events are soon. But Bragging Rights, one of the last ones to come up, I believe, right after Bragging Rights, is Survivor Series, which is the 1 year anniversary of this series as a whole. Yeah, I gotta say, this is definitely not what I had in mind when coming along to NXT as I do, you know, walking into the commentary booth. It's just not... Things have changed around here. And of course, another thing McMahon stated was that he didn't want a disgrace like Wade Barrett. This is not the place for the United Kingdom. No members of the United Kingdom are present tonight. But one of his proudest acquisitions for ECW will be, and he will end Wade Barrett's ECW Championship reign immediately tonight, and then he will go on to make ECW proud at Bragging Rights. I'm very curious to see what it is that McMahon has managed to pull off, who this new acquisition is. Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think he had Alex Riley done for quite some time. Goldust has made a very powerful ally in Alex Riley, I think that's safe to say. Oh, and here comes Justin Gabriel. Remember, these people are not members of ECW, but they've got some obligations they just filled in, so they might be appearing on here for a little while. Well, Justin Gabriel laying Stone Cold Steve Austin out with that steel pipe. As we move on to up next, the Hardcore Championship is on the line. More info on the two superstars participating in this and whether they're ECW people or not next. As we come back to here on ECW, the Hardcore Championship is on the line.
Representing the powerhouse, the Hardcore Champion, Ezekiel Jackson.
So a few little bits of information for you in regards to the Hardcore Championship here on ECW. First things first, I suppose. As McMahon already announced earlier, the Hardcore Championship is to be defended against anyone from any of the three brands. He is not afraid to put it on the line. Second of all, I just want to quickly mention in regards to Ezekiel Jackson, I can confirm that Jackson, as well as his buddy Mason Ryan and Vladimir Kozlov, all three members of the Powerhouse, of course, following the man that gave them their opportunities over on Raw. So they are all officially parts of the ECW roster. You won't see them on Monday nights anymore, unless, of course, they've already involved with some things. You might see Mason Ryan for a little while, but other than that, Kozlov and Jackson are officially finished on Raw. And this man here is another addition to ECW, a huge addition. Big Show coming on over to ECW. Absolutely unused since his draft to Raw. Rarely ever had a match. I think he had maybe one or two since being drafted back in April. We're now all the way in October, I believe. No, we're still at the end of September. We're almost in October. You know, almost 6 months this man's been sitting on Raw waiting for opportunities. I mean, admittedly, it's kind of a tough one because McMahon was the reason he wasn't getting one, so to follow him over to ECW was a little strange, but he's doing it. He's competing for the Hardcore Championship tonight. You guys voted him in a couple of weeks ago. Back when we had no idea NXT was going to come to an end. The Hardcore Championship property of ECW. One extra condition that's not been mentioned just yet is that whoever wins the Hardcore Championship, if they're not from ECW, if they're a Raw or SmackDown superstar, they are locked in as an ECW superstar until they lose the championship. They will not be allowed to compete on Raw or SmackDown until they have lost the Hardcore Championship. So that could really shift things up a little bit. But of course, with that comes the additional note, as you should all imagine, that there are certain people that will be off limits from being voted in. If they're already in a rivalry, if they're already holding a championship, say you voted in The Undertaker, I would have to nullify your vote because he is currently involved in a rivalry in a contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'd have to just go with the second most voted for thing. If you voted for Drew McIntyre or Rey Mysterio, they're already holding championships, they won't be coming over. And the same goes for the Cruiserweight Champion, R-Truth. He will not be coming over, or whoever the Cruiserweight Champion is at the time. Anyone who's involved in contention, in a rivalry, or the champion won't be coming over. It is strictly for those just kind of additional people. Ezekiel Jackson, I mean, he's in for a huge first challenge as Hardcore Champion. McMahon has a lot of confidence in this guy, and he thinks he could take on literally anyone. I've never really seen Jackson look so small before. Still to come tonight, we've got our main event for the ECW Championship. Wade Barrett makes a very special appearance as the ECW Champion. He'll be coming over here to ECW to compete against one special addition to ECW. I've been told I can give every single member of the ECW roster other than 2 people. So allow me to read off the list of ECW members, I suppose. We've got the Big Show, as you can already see. We've got Brodus Clay, Cody Rhodes, the Hardcore Champion himself, Ezekiel Jackson, Jackson's partner Mason Ryan, as well as Vladimir Kozlov. The new Raw General Manager Mick Foley was actually negotiated quite easily to come over to here, as it prevents any complications with his performances on Raw as a wrestler. So he's here on ECW now. And the former United States Champion Ted DiBiase comes over to ECW as well from Raw. From SmackDown, we've acquired the likes of Alberto Del Rio, Chavo Guerrero, Goldust, Husky Harris, and Sin Cara. But there are a couple more. I can't name what brand they're from, but we'll be seeing them in the future, maybe even tonight. I mean, I know one of them, it's his special acquisition that he's really proud of. So one of them, I think it's safe to say we're going to be seeing tonight. And it is not a member of the Powerhouse, which is very interesting. Big Show and Ezekiel Jackson.
Big Show. He's got him up. Spine first. Oh, no.
Not exactly going hardcore with this one, but then do they ever?
What's he up to here? Hey, he can't do this.
Oh, there you go. Right as I said that.
There's no disqualifications. And there's a hard right hand. The Hardcore Championship is on the line.
Very interested in seeing who those new acquisitions are, but right now I'm interested in finding out
Think about what you're doing. Don't take too long to gloat here, Big Show.
what the future holds for the Hardcore Champion Ezekiel Jackson. It's going to be very interesting to see how ECW plays out over the next few weeks. It's the first time we've ever had a third brand here in the WWE, especially one that has got such a small roster, admittedly, but obviously 3 matches a night instead of 4. It did need a little less than Raw and SmackDown, and of course no women's division here on ECW either, unfortunately, for those that were hoping for one. could be quite a good opportunity for those on Raw and SmackDown, as it creates more separation for everybody. You know, you don't get people being featured on Tuesday nights as well as Mondays and Fridays. And of course, you got some new faces competing for the World Championship. Not a single person on the ECW roster, I think, has ever competed for a World Championship, to my knowledge. I mean, Big Show was once involved, but other than that, I don't think we've seen anybody really involved with a World Championship. One thing I've been told is that McMahon is apparently very confident in who he has in store for Wade Barrett tonight. Which really makes you wonder. Ezekiel Jackson, by the way, comes into this match, and for those curious, 13-11, 4-6 this season. Oh my god! However, Big Show comes into this one, 13-8, 0-2 this season. First season was very successful, honestly. 13-6, you know, those 6 that he took. There was usually an asterisk next to them. Big Show was incredible in the first season over on SmackDown, but it was once he was drafted to Raw, things kind of went downhill. 2 losses says it all. That's all he ever got. Whereas right now, I think he's already making a difference. Yup. Comes to ECW and on his first night, crowned the Hardcore Champion. It won't be defended every week. It'll be defended kind of every other week, every now and then. But it is still going to be decided by votes who he goes up against. So the Big Show is victorious. He has captured his first ever singles championship in his first night on ECW. Absolutely beautiful. As we move on to our main event, what is in store for Wade Barrett here on ECW? I can't wait to find out. Well, a special update to you all. I've been informed that Mr. McMahon has ordered this match to be surrounded by a steel cage in case the United Kingdom were planning anything funny. But unlike your usual cage matches, this won't be an escape the cage to win type situation. If Barrett climbs out the cage, he's stripped of the title. Things just get more and more interesting. I can't imagine what McMahon has got in mind for the ECW champion Wade Barrett, but he's surrounding the ring in a steel cage. And it's not even going to be your traditional cage match. It has to end in pin and submission. He is strictly locking Barrett in. And he's confident that Barrett's not going to want to be locked in when he sees who his opponent is. But if he tries to escape, he's stripped of the title and banned from ECW. I mean, he's going to be out of ECW regardless. Oh no! Suddenly, Mr. McMahon's confidence makes a hell of a lot of sense. The man who actually managed to effectively break down the WWE champion Stone Cold Steve Austin. He still didn't get the job done against Stone Cold. But I'd be pretty confident in a match against most people. Wade Barrett is in for a really, really tough title defense. We've been told if he's somehow victorious tonight, he'll be made to defend that championship every week on ECW until it's taken away from him, as McMahon has complete control over who Barrett faces. This is his show. But I don't think Barrett's going to make it out of this one 100%. Mr. McMahon, what a huge acquisition for ECW. I mean, it's now safe for me to say the second to last person to reveal as a member of ECW was Arn Anderson. I couldn't say that because he's associated with Vader, it would have given it away, but Arn Anderson and Vader are the final two to join the ECW roster. What an absolutely massive addition to ECW that is. And Wade Barrett locked inside of a cage with Vader.
What do you have on Wade Barrett, King? There are a few minutes volatile as the 400-pound monster Vader.
This is not going to be an easy match for Wade Barrett at all. Pinfall or submission is the only way to win. Oh my god. The only way to win this.
Sooner or later, you have to believe the steel cage is going to come into play. Absolutely.
And Vader is ready to absolutely dish out punishment. And for the first time in his career, the fans are cheering for Vader. I mean, they've got to believe these are going to be ECW fans, I suppose. They're going to be here in support of the show they came to see. Of course, the United Kingdom aren't exactly the most popular people right now anyway.
For a long time, and let me tell you, there have been natural disasters that cause less damage than this monster.
This is honestly frightening. I mean, he may not be taller than Wade Barrett, but he more than makes up for it in broadness. I was starting to wonder why McMahon was so confident that whoever went in with the ECW Championship would win this trophy he made. Obviously, McMahon betting on Vader winning against Wade Barrett and going to the Champion of Champions match at Bragging Rights, bringing it home for ECW.
These competitors showing the effects of the cage.
This is brutal.
What can Wade Barrett do to win this one, King? The brutality and viciousness of this type of match is unparalleled.
Incredible ability to pull out a drop kick at any given point. And Vader, oh, right off the big spot. Oh, Barrett. Barrett able to fight back. Barrett's been a pretty underrated champion, to be honest. He hasn't been very active on NXT in the recent weeks. But he's the only ever two-time ECW champion thus far. Very rare occasion. He lost the title to Nemesis, and after about a month he got his rematch and won it right back. And this is got to be frightening for the United Kingdom right now. I mean, the thing is, this is one of their members, one of their key members, one of the tag team champions right now competing in this matchup. And if he gets too hurt, that's going to spell disaster for them. Looking for the Vader bomb, but Barrett was able to reverse. Vader, oh my god, very fast for him. Oh jeez. Oh my goodness. That might be enough. That was it. Vader off the top rope was definitely going to be enough. Vader has made McMahon proud, and it looks like McMahon's new creation is a success. Brand new arena, brand new champion, brand new show. And what a serious guy to have as the first champion for this new version of ECW. Vader is going to wreak havoc on everyone here on ECW. This is quite the change, quite the big change to suddenly experience in one night, but it is what it is. ECW is back, and I think it's here to stay. As long as McMahon's got his say anyway. I guess NXT just wasn't serving a purpose, to be fair. But now we move on. Can't wait to see what next week's episode has to offer with Vader in charge. As we move on to SmackDown this Friday night. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.